Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. The center cannot hold. Things fall apart, and mere anarchy is loosened upon the world. The best become complacent, while the worst become impassioned. Small excerpt from a poem. It's over a century old now, by Yeats. It's called The Second Coming. Really applies to what's going on today. Once again, opinion, beliefs, religious based. If religion isn't for you, isn't your cup of tea, you're still welcome here. I'm not going to preach to anybody, but I'm not going to deny where my faith is. Thank you, Jesus. Back at it today. Making my way towards that old tree. Maybe we'll get a wood knock. Maybe we won't. I always say a little greeting and state my intentions when I'm coming in here. I mean no disrespect, no ill intentions. This is our world we can share. Man, is that second here. I just spooked out something, probably a deer. Really hot today in Ithaca, New York. Temperature's dropping nicely now, though. It's about 6 p.m. Got up to near 90 today. Hope everybody out there experiencing life today is having a good one. And by the way, my YouTube name, Festtail and Greyhawk, has nothing to do with my personal heritage. I play a tabletop game named Dungeons and Dragons with the same group of guys for 30 plus years now. And Greyhawk is a campaign setting from Dungeons and Dragons way back when in the 70s, when Gary Gygax, inspired by Lord of the Rings, created Dungeons and Dragons. By the way, the first tabletop game, I think I saw something there too. The first tabletop game that didn't pit player against player. All players at the table work together for a common goal. And it's play acting. You assume the role of your character. You pretend to be that fighter or that priest or that ranger or that dwarf. So, Festtail and Greyhawk is just the name of one of my characters I play at the table at Dungeons and Dragons. And that's originally what this channel was going to be about. But I've moved on to other stuff. very big old trees in here, that's for sure. It's very quiet in here today. I haven't been yelled at by squirrels or chipmunks or crows. Very old trees here. Also wanted to let you know that there's a lot of history in this region, of course, where I live. There's a lot of history in every region. We got more dead foliage yellowing from being bedded down upon. Deer. Oh dear. Have the deer have any dough? Certainly. $2. But anyway, Ithaca was founded about 232 years ago. Circa 1790, folks. You can research the history of Ithaca, New York region just about anywhere. You can also research the native people we have from this region. We've got taken out these little notes that I prepared. The Seneca Nation, also known as the Keepers of the Western Door, the Cayuga, the Onondaga, and the Mohawk, also known as Keepers of the Eastern Door. If you'd like to research that on just about any place, you can find lots of information on the native cultures from this region. And yeah, like everybody it seems nowadays, they're still being oppressed, as we all know now it seems. Okay, we're approaching that old tree home area. Boy, this phone does not zoom in at all. It gets all pixeled. Now, what do you reckon's going on there? I didn't even notice that yesterday. Well, I see what happened. This big tree fell off our old home here. And when it did, it bent all these branches down. So it kind of formed this wall of dead limbs. First I thought they were placed here, but no, that's a big negative. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, obviously that's from the same old dead tree. Use a little flashlight now on the phone. Hello again. Ooh, insects. Give me an idea how big this is. I'm gonna go right inside it. Yep, all the way up through. Probably home to 1,000,000 spiders. And who knows how much longer before that comes down. some of the knot formations on trees. Always like that as a kid. Now you want to research Sasquatch people in upstate New York. You're going to find a lot of stories and a lot of encounters in the Adirondack Park area. It's one of the biggest parks we have in the country. It's only a couple bigger than it. I've been going up there since I was a little kid. My dad worked at Cornell. Look at the beautiful flowers. See if they'll zoom. My dad worked for Cornell Life Safety Department, and Cornell University owns all kinds of labs and outposts up in the Adirondacks. So they would pay for my dad to take the whole family up there. And my dad was good friends with actually it was an uncle in our family, his brother, that owned a dealership and would hook us up with a nice camper to drive up there. Boy, this phone does not zoom, but yeah. Pareidolia, with the mind trying to make sense of what it's seeing, is definitely a real thing, but I firmly believe that the Sasquatch beings can take max advantage of that. I think in pareidolia zones is where they live. I really do. But once again, opinion. Look at this old tree. It goes up through there and it's bent right in half up there. Good 30 feet up, and it goes back down, touches the ground. Wind damage, no doubt. More prints. Nothing unexpected. Maybe a baby Bigfoot print. Again, you can make out anything out of that. Another thing I wanted to bring up. What about little people? Or sprites? Or fairies? Will not focus. Gnomes, dwarves. Every myth, legend, in fact, has a place of origins, okay? And a lot of it based on truth. So if there are wood sprites or wood elves or little people, again, no disrespect intended. This is your world too. You belong in it just as I do. And I'm not out to expose you. But this area of the woods fascinates me, especially after that tree knock that I got in that video. Totally dismissed it when it happened. But it's only once, like I said. And it sounded like a good whack from a baseball bat. Probably covered in bugs in the Indiana Jones hat from dipping into that hollow tree down there. But It's a very cool place. I like that tree. I'm gonna be heading out. Nothing really unusual in this video, just a little discussion. Keep on keeping on, everybody. My dad, when I was in the Air Force, wrote me letters, and he would always end the letter with, keep on keeping on. We are exiting through an area that has the tree structures. Most tree structures aren't, super intricate, but they've withstood the test of time. And they're all broken limbs. And I just don't see how they could randomly form these patterns just from breaking off. Now this trail here is owned and maintained by Bolton Water Plant. So they do keep it clear. But they wouldn't. Workers are in a hurry. Cleared brush are just tossed. They're not going to be stacked like these. Now X's are reported in the formations all over the place. So that's a big X right there. And it's all tied in with these bent limbs. This part of the X goes all the way up through there, and it rests nicely, securely on another live tree still. This one here, all the way up through there to, again, part of a tree that is still alive. Greetings. This is just kind of a random train deck, and I tell you what. Okay, yeah, it was in the ground pretty good. So another X right there. There's another X as part of this formation. This one here nestled nicely in the Y, see? This long one here has the big end sticking about 2 foot off the ground over there, and is resting on this one here, which goes up through there, touching this one. It goes all the way up through, and is actually a trident at the top end, which I never noticed. It splits into, oh come on phone, right up in there. There it is. It's a trident at that end. I never noticed that. It's missing the center prong for the trident, but it's a trident. And this piece right here, hook to it up there, see where? So that's just amazing to me. And this piece is getting rotted, but it's still been there for a long, long time. It's propped up in that live tree. Then you got this X. Part of the X, one end of it, both sticks touching the ground. The other 2 ends are propped in trees, fellas. So there's the closest look and description I gave you yet on those tree formations. Like I said, they've been here longer than I've lived here, which, I don't know, I lose track of time, but it's well over a decade. I'd estimate 15 years. I've worked for this company for 20 now, and rented off the company during most of that time. So peace out, love, and happiness, everybody. That's Tail and Greyhawk signing off.